Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here, and today we're going to gather our tribe, go hunting, and then paint our caves with our achievements in Prehistories. In this game, the players are going to be each selecting the tribe of characters they want to send out hunting simultaneously. You'll reveal those cards, and then you are going to use them to go out hunting. And that lets you draft cave paintings. You'll then take that back home and paint it on a board in front of you, trying to achieve various patterns and basically, tell your tale. Have your legend be the best legend of all. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at how this works. It's a very straightforward family-style game. And then I'll see you on the other side for some final thoughts. In the game, each player is trying to be the first one to get rid of all of their totem tokens, these 8 tokens right here, and you're going to do that by completing objectives. Now, you have recurring objectives here. If you have one of these legendary animals down here, you can get rid of one. For every line across and every column that you complete on your player board, you can also get rid of one. But then there's also these goals up here. You are going to have a number of these based on the number of players, and there are several that are not in play, and there are also some that are on the back of these cards. So you can play with either side, the moon side, which are a little more complex but have better rewards, or just this sun side. So here we have 4 of them up here, and they each have different things you're trying to accomplish, all right? You have your deck of cards. You're going to draw an opening hand of 3 from your shuffle deck, and then you are ready to begin. So here I've got a game for 2 players, all right? And here are the ways that the game is going to unfold. So everyone simultaneously is going to decide who they want to send out on their hunting party. These characters are going to have a strength at the top here. There's, of course, the illustration, and then a number in the corner that's only used rarely for tiebreaker purposes. So you select who you want to send out, and your choice is going to denote where you are going to be able to go and hunt and get these cave paintings, but also when you'll get to go. So let's say I select these 2 cards here, and I'll put them, get them ready face down somewhere. The other one stays in my hand, and then this player is going to select these 2, all right? And they will select those. Then we simultaneously reveal them. So this player has a 4 and a 6 for a total of 10 strength. And then I, as you already saw, have 7 over here. The smaller group is going to be the faster group. They're the more nimble hunters. And so this player is going to go first. With my total of 7, I can decide now what I want to do. Each of these locations has 2 lines. The top one, or rather the bottom one, says the number you need to hunt there and not walk away with any of your party wounded. So if you want this single space cave painting, that's 4 or more. 7 or more here, 10 or more there, and so on. But I could go here with anywhere between 7 and 9 and still take this tile, but I'll take a wound. What does that mean? That means I'll be drawing fewer cards when I replenish my hand. And this little handy-dandy guide here that everyone has is going to help you figure that out. If you take no tile at all, then you're going to draw 3 cards. And by the way, any of these cards I don't use go back in my hand. If I walk away with no wounds, then I'll draw 2, 1 wound, I'll draw 1. And if you take 2 or more wounds, you don't draw any at all. And the way you can do that is because you can hunt at multiple of these by splitting up your hunters. So I've got my 7 here. I'm going to take a look around, and I'm going to go to this one with that 7. It requires 7 or more to hunt with no wounds whatsoever. So I'll take it. I discard these characters, and now I have to add it in here anywhere I want to. But it starts from this side of the board, and after there is 1 there, then everything else you place in there has to touch back to something on this wall. So I'll go ahead and put that one there. There's also important to note that all the animals have to be right side up, so you cannot do something like this, where their little legs are sticking that way. So it has to be like that, or you can flip it over, and then I could do something like that, all right? So there I go. I'm going to do that, or actually I'll go back to what I had. I'll do that, and then I draw back up. I was able to hunt with no wounds. I draw 2 cards from my deck and add them to the one I had left over. If your deck ever runs out, you shuffle it up and keep drawing. And now this player is going to go. But this is not replenished right now. They hunt from what's left. They have a total of 10. So they could take this one with no penalty, or they could take this one and then deal with a wound. They're going to go ahead and do that. They're going to take this one. That one says it's between 10 and 12, but then somebody takes a hit. So they're going to take that. They're going to put it right here. They'll discard these 2 into their discard pile. But then because they took a wound, they only draw 1 card. Once that's done, then we will replenish these places that were used up. So we put a new one here, and the 2 was taken, so you just, grab a new one and put it there. I keep them in the bag. The 2s and the 1s, I keep them in the bag because it's easier to sort of, toss them in there, and then you don't know what's coming up. So there we go. That's basically it. Now, at any point, when you qualify for one of these goals, you immediately drop this off. So let's take a look at one of them, okay? This one, for example, says that when you fill in the central 9 squares on your board, you qualify for that. If you're the first person to do it, you drop off 2 of your little totem symbols. If you are anyone after that, you drop off 1. So the second player, third, fourth, doesn't matter. And so I might try for that. I might be going for these in the middle. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going for connecting corners like this one is connecting those 2 corners. And you can do this however you want to. Anything taken is then replenished. And that's pretty much it. You just keep going until somebody gets rid of all of them, and then that player is going to be the winner of the game. Game ends instantaneously, and they are the winner. There are a few of them that do care about what kind of animal is the painting, but some don't care. It's just about the size. So you need to be careful with what you fill and where you do it. Last thing I'll mention is this handprint there and 2 handprint symbol there means that when you cover those, you get to draw a bonus 1 or 2 cards respectively. So there you go. Let's go ahead and go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of the game. That is Prehistories, and I have to say this is one I've been looking forward to. A couple of reasons. I think it's very beautiful. I love the look. I like the setting quite a bit, and I am a fan of the Flying Games, the publisher here. I think their games tend to be not the most tactically rich games of all time, but very attractive productions. I think they have a good feel for what makes a pretty game, an enjoyable, breezy, engaging family game. So I think this is another one that manages to do a lot of those things. So let's talk about it, shall we? The theme, I think, is okay. I think the idea of the tribes getting together and going hunting is nice. I think that the thematic ties ultimately really just being painting what happened off screen on your board lose a little bit of the flavor of the tribes hunting, okay? You get to only see in this game the aftermath of what I assume would be the really cool part of the game, if that makes sense. And so it loses a little bit of that flavor for me. The idea of, yes, my tribe is strong. We have conquered. It's more like my tribe can do, finger painting, which is fine, but it does lose a little bit of what I was hoping would feel more uproarious and enjoyable. The aesthetics, as I said, already looked great, and as I opened up everything and saw the components, I was very, very happy. I think all of the cardboard bits are very nice. Card quality is good. The illustrations, of course, and the just general construction is lovely. I do wish that there was a better way to deal with the size 2 cave paintings and the size 1 cave paintings besides just piling them next to the board. Because you really shouldn't see the one coming up next when you're grabbing one and replacing something that got taken. You shouldn't see which one it is. And so what I've had to do was just put them in an opaque bag, or maybe put the doubles in the box lid and those singles somewhere else so I can shake them and grab replacements at random. I wonder if, having a couple of little bags included would have been a nice solution for that, but they're not there. But again, that's a minor thing, really. The replay value, I think, is very good. The goals make a big difference. There's a nice amount of them. They are double-sided, so you can go with either side. And then the player count and the scalability in the game is very good. So I think the replayability here, quite high, surprisingly high, very nice. The game arc is all right. The game doesn't have a tremendous build, and it does have this sort of ramp-up effect where you could get a sudden end, where at the beginning of the game, the first 3 tiles you take will probably not let you score anything, but then the 8th tile you take might let you put out 3 of your totems all at once. And it might be your last 3, and suddenly you go boom, boom, the game's over. So it does have a bit of a sudden death kind of feel to it. And it also feels fairly hard to catch up sometimes if you fall behind the curve, okay? I like the balancing, and I'll talk about the tactics and luck and strategy in 1 second. I'm not saying that that's out of whack. I'm just saying that it does feel like if someone's a good amount of those tokens ahead, you're done. And that's probably true, okay? So the game arc, a little iffy. Ease of play, smooth, easy. I like the little player aid just to help you understand how many cards you should be drawing each turn. And the whole thing is just, yeah, it's very easy to pick your tribe, select them, do your hunting, your painting, boom. Lastly, tactics, luck, strategy. It's fine. Again, like I said, it's got hand management, which is the key, really. And then some of the luck, of course, as the tiles are replaced. If you're looking for, say, you need to make a group of 8 of the same animal, if you have 4 of one, and that's the animal you're going for, but that doesn't come up again in a while, you're probably not going to get it. Oh, there's no more fish coming up, then somebody else is going to get to 8 before you do because they picked a different thing and that came up a bunch. So that could happen, certainly. But again, that's not a huge deal. I do like mechanically the idea of it all being about that hand size. I'm going to spend all my cards to be able to grab 3 tiles all at once, but then I go into next turn with a single card in my hand or none at all. And then I'm taking a down turn and replenishing my hand. I like that cadence. I like the way that works out. It's not revolutionary, but it's interesting and fun. And that's, I think, ultimately how I feel about this game. It's not revolutionary. We've seen a lot of simultaneous selection card games before. There's been a lot of polyomino type puzzle-y games before. But it's fun. And it's interesting and certainly very attractive. This is a game that I think will be pretty easy for people to get to the table because it looks the way it looks and the rules are easy while, allowing the fun to rise to the surface and not have too many rules get in the way. Will it feel lucky? Yeah, it might feel kind of lucky. And you might feel like, oh man, because of that simultaneous selection, there was nothing I could have done. I didn't know what you were going to do. It went the way it went. And it might end suddenly, but it's fun. Every time I played it, I walked away going, I had fun with that. That was neat. I'm happy to play that again whenever it hits the table. So this is going to get a 7 out of 10 from me, which is a seal of approval. I definitely recommend it. If you're looking for a good, solid family game, maybe you don't have any simultaneous selection, card games yet in your collection, this would be a lovely one to add. If you like the theme and you want something that can be played with just about anybody, Prehistories gets a thumbs up from me. And that's going to do it for me, everybody. My name is Zee Garcia, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.